Most individuals are like puppets reacting to the pull of their emotions, set off by every look, every remark, every scroll through a screen. It's pitiful. Here's the brutal truth. If you crave to be unstoppable, you must grasp one essential skill. Behave as though absolutely nothing affects you. Walk into any room, eyes are on you, some are scrutinizing, some are waiting for you to misstep. Let them wait. You don't twitch. You don't blink. You don't give them anything. Because the second you respond, you've handed them the reins to your emotions, your presence, your self-image. You become their puppet. If you want to win, realize this. The world doesn't honor outbursts. It honors poise. Not breakdowns, not meltdowns. It respects presence. When you carry yourself like nothing gets to you, suddenly you're dictating the rhythm. You're leading the energy. You're the lion and they're just part of the herd. They've been lying to you. They've been preaching, open up, be emotional, be real. Fine, go weep on TikTok and watch how quickly they tear you apart. This world doesn't hand out compassion, it dishes out consequences. You show fragility, you invite predators. So what's the move? Wear your face like a shield, veins iced over, fire in your chest, but stone calm on the outside. That's the game. Think the strong never feel pain? False. They simply don't parade it. If danger is your goal, if real power is what you're after, you must conquer the craft of silence. Let them assume you're invincible, even when everything around you is falling apart. That's genuine dominance. Because when you remain grounded in chaos, you don't just survive, you rise, you outlast, you come out ahead. So when life throws its punches, someone runs their mouth, your plans unravel, betrayal slices deep, do not react. Nod, smile, keep walking like the path is still under your control. That's how you break people, by refusing to let them witness your cracks. Act like nothing rattles you and eventually nothing will. Emotional mastery is power. Most people today are prisoners to their moods. One disrespectful word and they explode. One wrong glance and they spiral. They let the world dictate their emotional climate. That's not just weak. That's how you get maneuvered, outplayed, and overtaken. When your emotions are out of control, it's like giving strangers the keys to your mind. Consider this. Every time someone offends you, angers you, unsettles you, and you react, you're admitting they have more influence over your mental state than you do. That's vulnerability. That's surrender. If one comment can rattle your entire mindset, then you're not free. You're programmable. Easy to read, easy to use. Real winners, they don't twitch. They don't erupt. They think. Emotional control separates rookies from masters. Ever wonder why the elites, the real heavyweights, seem unfazed no matter what's happening? It's because they've trained themselves to disconnect impulse from action. They don't move because they feel something. They move because it works. They've built the ability to seem calm, certain, and unreachable, even in disaster. That's not a gift. It's a discipline. It's earned through pressure, forged in fire. Look around. Society pushes the opposite message. Feel everything. Share everything. Break down publicly. Here's the truth. Emotions are tools, not excuses. In a world crawling with opportunists, being emotional is a liability. They're not worried about your feelings. They're looking for leverage. You cry, they see a crack. You snap, they see an opening. You lash out. They've already won. Stay in control when everyone else is spiraling is your edge. While they burn out chasing mood swings, you keep moving forward, undistracted. It's not about being heartless. It's about being the one in charge. You don't bottle your feelings, you manage them. You wield them with intent. That's where the power is. When chaos erupts and everyone else is losing composure, you remain locked in making smart moves because while they're drowning in emotion, you're steering the ship. You want respect, you want presence, you want to be unstoppable. Emotional discipline is your bedrock. People revere those who keep it together when everything else crumbles. They follow those who stay cool when things fall apart. Those are the ones who lead, who endure, who come out on top. Master your emotional response and nothing can pierce you. And when you become immune to outside influence, that's real power. That's not just confidence, that's command. because perception is everything. How people perceive you directly shapes how they respond to you. They can't read your thoughts. They judge you based on what you radiate, your body language, your facial expression, your energy. That's what they process. They don't know your struggles. They only know your presence. You could be brilliant, generous, and relentless, but if your posture is slouched, your voice is shaky, and your energy is erratic, no one will notice what's inside. Life doesn't hand out rewards for good intentions. It rewards what people see. That's why those with less capability often still lead, because they grasp perception. They stride with confidence. They speak like they mean it. They show up like they belong. And that makes people buy in, believe, and follow. It might not be fair, but it's real. Walk like nothing can affect you, and you signal that you're in full control. You project mental resilience, emotional maturity, and immunity to trivial drama. That image changes how people engage with you. They hesitate to provoke you. They reconsider opposing you. Many reconsider before it even starts. Why? Because they detect strength. They feel stability. And in a world drowning in emotional fragility, poise is rare. And rare is powerful. Most folks live in constant reaction mode. One comment sends them spiraling. They wear stress and insecurity like clothing. They broadcast it online. They speak like victims. And all of that signals to the world that they're unbalanced, that they're easily shaken. And the world, being what it is, pushes them around even more. That's not cruelty, that's biology. Just like in nature, vulnerability attracts pressure. Flip that. Learn to own your image, manage your energy, command your presence. Suddenly you begin shaping the world around you. People start making assumptions, good ones. They think you're capable, respected, powerful. Before you even speak, your quiet confidence becomes unsettling. Your stillness becomes threatening. People get unsure around you, wondering what gives you that edge. That's your opening. That's your lead. This isn't about faking. It's about being strategic. Show fear, doubt, or insecurity, and people will amplify it. But walk like a storm in silence, grounded, steady, sharp, and they'll respect it. Eventually you will too, because behavior trains belief. When you repeatedly act unaffected, it becomes truth. You stop just playing strong, you become strong. You stop reacting, you stop defending. You carry yourself through fire as if it were a breeze. And over time, your calmness becomes your truth. Perception isn't just a concept, it's your first battlefield. You win it, and everything else aligns behind it. Today's world runs on attention. Not just money or power, attention. Everyone's fighting for it, selling it, weaponizing it. And the second someone learns they can provoke you, you're already theirs. Your emotions become a switch they can flip at will. If they can sour your mood with one sentence, they've taken your value for free. They've won control over your mind without effort. This is why so many people stay stuck. They squander energy reacting to every jab. Someone mocks them and they feel the urge to clap back. Someone disrespects them and they unravel. They just can't help revealing that they're shaken. That's what makes them easy targets. Predictable, emotionally exposed, and manipulatable. The real players, they don't give that away. They recognize attention as power. If no one can grab your attention, no one can direct your focus. No one can steer your emotions. No one can infiltrate your world. Those who rise are the ones who stay cool while others bait them. They don't take the hook every time it's thrown. They know conflict is usually a setup, a ploy to pull them off balance. The higher move is no move. The smarter response is silence. That's what drives people mad. Into the world where they can't read you, when they can't provoke you. They start second-guessing themselves. They start losing their grip because you refuse to hand them what they wanted most, your attention. Every time you overlook a petty jab, every time you stay locked in while someone tries to disrupt your focus, you're strengthening discipline. You're signaling to the world, I move only when I choose to. That's real power, not being reactive, not feeling the urge to correct every misstatement. Not rushing to prove your value to people who aren't even operating on your level. That restraint creates intrigue, because those who hold real worth don't need to advertise it. They make others pursue it. Tension is what people crave most, and once they sense they won't get it from you, they shift their attention. They search for easier prey. But if you give in, if you show they've struck a nerve, they'll keep coming. They grow bolder from your reaction. You become their entertainment, the source of their validation, and all you've done is invest your most precious resource into someone who hasn't earned it. In any space, in any scenario, the person who can remain emotionally steady has the advantage, not because they're emotionless, but because they've trained themselves not to give their focus away cheaply. If you want to be respected, learn to starve people of your attention until they've earned it. If they can't provoke you, they can't control you. That's how composure is developed. By protecting your attention like the treasure it is. Chaos is opportunity. Most people panic the moment things go sideways. Their thoughts stall, their emotions flare, they unravel under pressure. They've been conditioned to crave comfort, routine, and predictability. The instant that's disturbed, they break. But the rare few, the ones who ascend, see chaos differently. They see it as fuel. They see it as their window to rise while others fall apart. When others lose their composure, they tighten theirs. When others retreat, they advance. That shift in mindset is the entire difference. In chaos, the field is leveled, titles, roles, and talk fade away. When the storm hits, you discover who's real and who's faking it. When everything's falling apart, people instinctively seek leadership. They look for someone who isn't losing control, who isn't confused, who isn't ruled by emotion. That's when power is claimed. That's when discipline and presence become the most valuable assets in the room. The one who stays calm in the chaos becomes the gravitational center. He doesn't need to shout. His energy is louder than words. He doesn't take the role of a leader. He becomes the only one capable of holding it. Age isn't a setback. It's a sieve. It filters the fragile from the forged. And those who are forged in adversity understand that pressure-filled moments are where respect is cemented. Power isn't cultivated in peace. Power grows when the ground shakes and you're still standing tall. That's how dominance is created, by showing that no storm can steal your focus. While others whine, you build. While others freeze, you take action. That makes people trust you, that makes people cautious around you. It's not talent, it's poise. Many want the throne, but few can handle the flames that surround it. They want the success, the admiration, the status. But the moment real challenges show up, they mentally check out. That's why they never arrive at their dreams. Because each new level of achievement brings with it new chaos. You want to lead, run something big, own your space? Then be prepared to take pressure like a beast. The world won't stop testing you. You just evolve to meet it. The secret isn't dodging chaos, it's training inside it. Make it your natural setting. Whether it's betrayal, uncertainty, criticism, or failure, use it. Let it temper you. Let it sharpen your instincts. Chaos is not the threat, emotional instability is. If you can stay composed and crystal clear when everything's falling apart, you immediately gain an edge over the vast majority. Because everyone performs when things are smooth. Only the disciplined perform when it truly counts. Every disaster is a proving ground. Every mess is a stage. You either collapse inside it or rise beyond it. And once you show that you're unbreakable during the storm, you become the one others rely on when the world starts shaking. That's where true influence is born, right in the eye of the storm. Master the mask. Life isn't just about who you are, it's about how you're perceived. You can be skilled, focused, and intelligent, but if you walk in looking unsure, fragile, or erratic, that's how the world will treat you. People don't see your inner grind, your values, or your story. They see your posture, your tone, your eyes, your energy. That's the mask. And if you don't take control of it, it will control you. Every room is a stage, whether it's a board meeting, a conflict, a crowd, or a quiet room. People start reading you the second you walk in. They're not hearing your resume. They're watching how you move, how you stand, how you respond. First impressions create filters, and everything you say after that passes through them. If you step in looking defeated, uncertain, or anxious, you've already surrendered half the battle before saying a word. People crave certainty. They gravitate toward those who appear grounded. If you want to lead, command space, and be respected, then your presence must reflect that. That doesn't mean being fake. It means knowing the difference between how you feel and what you reveal. You can feel doubt and still radiate confidence. You can feel fatigue and still walk with purpose. That's not lying, that's discipline. That's maturity. That's control. You don't let the world into your lowest places unless there's a reason. You curate what version of you they interact with. Fragile people reveal everything. Each emotion paints their face. Each blow crumbles their posture. Each word shifts their energy. They broadcast every inner crack the moment pressure rises. That makes them easy to read, easy to shake, easy to beat. But when you've mastered your mask, nothing spills. You show only what you intend to show. You may be burning inside, but if your eyes are steady, your tone is composed, and your stance is firm, people will think you're unbreakable. That perception becomes reality. People treat you as solid, and that forces you to rise into that standard. The mask isn't deception, it's power. It lets you walk through turmoil untouched. It confuses your opponents and comforts your allies. It even trains your own mind. Because when you project strength long enough, your brain follows. The behavior shapes the identity. You become what you portray. That's how confidence is sculpted. Not by waiting until you're ready, but by behaving as the person you aim to become. Manage your presence. Own the performance. It's not about pretending. It's about guiding. Not everyone deserves to witness your raw emotions. Not everyone should peek behind the curtain. The mask is your filter, your shield, your edge. Learn to wear it with intent, and you'll take command of every space you walk into. Weakness attracts predators. That's not speculation. That's a law of nature. From the wild to the workplace, weakness is exploited. The moment you display doubt, insecurity, or fragility, someone, somewhere sees an opening. They might not say it, but they sense it. They smell vulnerability, and they'll find a way to use it. That's the reality. The world doesn't respond to your kindness or goodwill if it's wrapped in softness. If you look like a pushover, you'll be treated like one. That's why stoicism isn't about detachment, it's about defense. It's not about acting robotic, it's about sending a signal. I'm not someone to play with. When you carry yourself like someone who doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, and doesn't break, people engage with you differently. They tread lighter. They hesitate before testing your lines. But the moment you show emotional fragility, especially in front of those who don't care about your well-being, they'll exploit it. Slowly, subtly, they'll stretch your limits, take what they can, and they'll keep pushing until you snap or fold. You see it everywhere. In business, the hesitant get lowballed. In love, the one chasing too hard gets ignored. In social scenes, the approval seeker gets excluded. Weakness, whether it's real or just perceived, pulls pressure toward you. And often, it's not enemies applying that pressure, it's the people closest to you, just testing to see how much you'll tolerate. That's why being strong internally isn't enough. You need to project strength consistently. You must walk and speak like someone who doesn't tolerate nonsense and doesn't cave when challenged. There's this popular myth that vulnerability earns respect, that if you display your wounds, people will treat you with empathy. Sometimes, yes, but often what it really does is give people ammunition. When you expose your pain to the wrong audience, they study it, they learn how to use it, and eventually they will, either because they're opportunists or because they're broken too and stepping on someone else gives them relief. You might think being open gets you closer to people, and it can, but more often it just gives them leverage. The better strategy? Move with poise, keep your emotions disciplined, don't beg. Don't broadcast your frustrations. Don't let every hit register. When something stings, absorb it in silence. Adjust behind closed doors. And when you reappear, come back sharp. Eyes clear, voice calm, energy untouchable. That's how you remove the scent of vulnerability. That's how you stop pulling in manipulators and bullies. Because strength repels them. They don't want to fight, they want a target. Don't offer yourself up. In a world obsessed with reactions, drama, and instant gratification, true control is rare, and in that rarity lies massive power. When you learn to act as if nothing rattles you, you enter another realm. A realm where you're not simply surviving, you're commanding. You're not at the mercy of chaos, disrespect, or emotional games. You become the force that sets the pace, controls the tone, and owns the space, not because your path is easy, but because you've built the endurance to take whatever it throws at you. You stop bleeding for people who haven't earned a glimpse of your wounds. You stop handing your power to anyone who hasn't earned your attention. You move with weight, with presence, with pressure. And the world begins to treat you as such. That's not pretending, that's mastery.